The Catholic Church does not have a high opinion of astrology. But if you look at the recent popes and their birth charts, the stars in the sky really did map out their destiny. The previous three popes' charts have strong indications of someone being in a position of leadership, even spiritual leadership, and the position of the planet show up in major ways throughout their lives. Pope John Paul II was one of the longest reigning popes and one of the most influential in history. I already explained in the previous video how Mars conjunct his ascendant made him prone to assassination attempts. Just like Trump and Reagan, who have the same Mars ascendant conjunction. He got shot and survived, but even his chart in general shows papal potential. Look at how his Jupiter and Neptune conjunction are close to his midheaven. Those are two planets closely linked with faith and religion. His Pluto is in the ninth house of religion and belief. He was also known as a pilgrim pope, being the first pope to have made so many foreign travels, including to the White House and other places no predecessor had gone before, transforming the way future popes would reign in the future. Having two outer planets about faith and belief at the highest point in his chart, plus Pluto in the ninth, which is about power and elite governance, makes total sense for someone in charge of the largest Christian church in the world. His new moon in the eighth house shows up in his parents passing away and leaving him an orphan, both sun and moon representing his mom and dad, and the eighth house being the house of death. It's also notable how his Uranus-Saturn opposition in the 4th and 10th houses played out in his life. He was a fierce crusader against communism and even visited his home country of Poland to advocate for its freedom from the Soviet regime. The 4th house and Uranus represent his staunch support of freedom for his home country against Soviet communism, which is represented by its opposition with Saturn in the 10th. Pope Benedict XVI's chart is almost as perfect. He has Jupiter almost just at his ascendant, and also Saturn in his ninth house, being an authority in religion. His 4th house is worth mentioning because after his death, it was revealed how he wrote about how upset he was about homosexuality being tolerated in the church in his home country of Germany, and was afraid to speak about it while alive, which I believe is where you see all the nasty aspects he has with his 4th house Mars and Pluto, which represent secrets. His 12th house of retirement contains Aquarius, which is ruled by his Saturn in the ninth house, and I believe this is why he was the first pope to step down before his death in centuries. Pope Francis was elected in the 6th snake year 2013, and he passed away in the 9th snake year 2025. The 6 and 9 are opposite energies, being upside down versions of each other. Pope Francis was the Neptune and Pisces pope. He became pope when Neptune was 3 degrees in Pisces and died right after it went into Aries. It makes so much sense, because this period of history will be looked at as a great time of confusion and nonsense, which is honestly quite characteristic of the Francis papacy. Pope Francis doesn't have nearly as much papal energy in his birth chart. But like I was saying earlier, notice how he has Neptune in his 2nd house. Neptune is a planet of illusion and deception, and I always felt his humility and simple dress and lifestyle was really prideful and a false humility and truth. Pluto in the 1st house is what made his era of the papacy so dark and malevolent, but also it makes a lot of sense that Uranus is in his 10th house. His papacy was very shocking and confusing. He's totally different from any pope before him, and look at how his 10th house containing Aries has its ruler of Mars in his 3rd house, indicating communication struggles and his constant vitriol and argument against conservatives. He really was someone who fought with his words. We don't have a birth time for Pope Leo XIV, so I'm not going to do a breakdown of his birth chart. Hopefully, we can get a reliable chart on him later in the future.